Welcome to another exciting episode of the Paul Brown Show. Tonight, we're producing using the facilities of Charlotte-Mecklenburg Public Access Corporation Access 21 Podcast Studio. Today, I have as my guest Miss Sharon Cash, and she'll be talking about her show. How you doing there, Sharon?
I'm doing good. How are you, Mr. Brown?
I'm doing great. Tell the audience a little bit about yourself first.
Well, I am from Charlotte, North Carolina, by way of Waysboro, North Carolina.
Okay.
Retired police officer, CMPD. Single mother, 7 children, 5 boys, 2 girls. Love riding my motorcycle. Love horseback riding, trailing, country stuff.
Okay. All right.
Stuff like that.
All right. So you got a show coming up called Infamous Spotlight.
Tell
the audience a little bit about where'd you get that name from?
Infamous, a lot of people think the word infamous is a bad word, but in my, I guess, mindset, infamous, it could be a good thing. It could be something famous, but at the same time, it can mean not being famous.
Correct.
So, I mean, for me, infamous means a good thing to me. So I kind of like the word kind of stood out to me. So I like the word infamous.
Okay. Okay. What's going to be the mission of your show? What's going to be basically about?
I think my mission for my show would be just getting people information about different people, businesses, what people offer, what type of, things they offer for people. Like, for an example, you may have a hairdresser that specializes in cancer patients. And maybe, because most people lose their hair doing cancer. And, women, we're vain. We want our hair pretty and intact.
Yeah.
So I may find a hairdresser that specializes in helping people through the cancer process to, embrace their baldness or embrace a hairstyle or wig that may be comfortable or suitable for them.
Okay.
So I'm going to be dealing with people that offer specialized services that's going to be a help for other people.
Oh, your hairstyle looks real nice.
Well, yeah.
Well, you want to give a shout out to anybody? I mean,
Well, my hairdresser, her name is Nicole. She's in Monroe, so she is my shout out girl. She is my girl. So, hey, Kim Nicole, Monroe, North Carolina, that's where you need to go.
I hear that. All right. So tell the audience, I know you got the show. You say you were a police officer. Tell us a little bit about your involvement with that being a police officer.
Helping people is a thing for me. That kind of touches my heart. So I like helping people. Helping people is a passion. So helping people to kind of pull themselves up, put themselves in a better position. I like helping people because everybody don't like helping people. Some people, they can take it or leave it, but that's my passion. That's my calling. So I like trying to reach out and help people do, things that need to get done. So helping is my thing. Like my home care agency, I love helping elderly people that can't take care of themselves. I love taking care of them. They love you too.
Correct.
So I love helping people, be it from the old to the young. So I like helping is my calling. That's my passion.
Are you excited about starting your show?
I'm thrilled about starting my show, but I'm nervous too because I've never done it before. So this is something new. I'm stepping into another life doing this because I've never done it before, but I'm looking forward to doing it.
What's the part that makes you nervous?
Well, this is something new. When you start something new in your life, sometimes you're a little nervous about it, but I'm not afraid of it. Change is good. I'm embracing the change. So I think not knowing what it's going to be like, I guess that could be what's making me nervous. But I'm not afraid. Not afraid, just a little nervous about it.
Okay, well, we can use this show to be like a starter up for your show, and you kind of like interview me for a little bit.
Well, we can do that, Mr. Brown.
Okay, go ahead. Okay, go ahead.
So I guess the first question I'm going to ask you, what do you enjoy most about doing your show?
I like the most I like about the show is the fact that I'm able to meet people and to get to see what they do and how they make an impact on our community. Because it's a lot of people that I've interviewed that I probably would not have been able to have met because of the fact that of their status, mayors, chief, and all that. But being that God blessed me with the opportunity to interview them, it was like I was at some of the guests I've had, this was being in the same room with them because it was really it's really exciting, and you become like a therapist, whereas you normally just ask them the questions, let them speak,
Okay.
because you don't want to do all the talking. You want them to, because it's really their show.
Right. Okay.
Ask them a question, and they basically just run the show by themselves.
So, what guests have you had on your show that was more exciting than any other guest? So, I guess what I'm asking you, what person that you have on the show that you was excited about having on your show?
Oh, well, I know it was one show I had. Well, I had one day I had Chief Monroe, the former chief of police of Charlotte, and right behind him, Sheriff Bailey was in because I met them at a conference, and they both said that they would come to the show.
Okay.
So I interviewed both of them on the same day, and it was like really exciting because, you know what I'm saying, these are two people that I see on TV, but I never thought I would actually be there to interview them.
Okay. Okay.
And the mayor, Mayor Lyle, I've interviewed some other mayors, and it's just CEOs. I mean, it's just so many of them that.
So you've had a variety of people on your show before.
God has really blessed my show.
Okay,
He really has.
That's a good thing. So since you've been doing, so first of all, how long have you been doing this for the Paul Brown Show? How long have you been doing it?
I started the Paul Brown Show back in 2008.
Okay.
And I've been doing it so far, and it started off as Second Chance. That was the name of the show, The Second Chance, when I started off.
And
Because
what gave you, and where did that name come from, The Second Chance?
okay, I'm a recovering addict.
Okay.
And what I wanted to do is bring people on that give people an opportunity to have a second chance at life.
Okay. Okay.
And that was my main mission of having a TV show. Just being able to allow people in the community to give information on different programs that's available to help people to get their lives back together.
Okay, so it's inspiration for you, so to speak.
Correct. And then my director, Ms. Sonia Roberts, she was a blessing. I mean, I love her, and she really helped me out through my shows and stuff like that. She really did a lot, and we talked, and she said that I should make the show more diverse. So she said, let's call it the Paul Brown Show, and that's what we did.
Okay. Okay, so during your years of doing this service that you love so much, can you say, have you ever had a moment where it was discouraging, where you just didn't want to do it anymore, or you just got old or bored with it?
Well, I think when you have like guests that at the last minute when they cancel, and you really was waiting on them to come, and when especially at Access 21, whereas people help you, like volunteer to help you run your show, and they don't show up, and so you got to really try to work it out, whereas you can have a show and do it without some of the most important people, like the camera people or the people in the studio or the people in the control room, because it takes a lot of people to make a show operate in the studio.
Okay. So what has been your most rewarding moment here at TV 21?
It was just I'm saying, just the opportunity to meet different people, and just the networking. It was such a great honor to network, and then to let people know that the Paul Brown Show was providing that educational, information that they can use to benefit their lives.
Okay. But it sounds like you got everything kind of in order, how you like it and how you want it.
Yeah, I mean, it's great. So, I mean, you know what I'm saying? I mean, it takes some time, and I think I'm still learning how to be a producer, host, because of the different people that I get to meet and stuff like that, just getting out there and doing your footwork, and you try not to make your show like someone else's show.
Right.
I think I noticed that a lot of producers, what they do is they may look at somebody else's show and say, okay, I want to have my show to look like their show, but I think I can do it better.
Right, right.
You know, be yourself. You know, be original, be yourself. And this, you know, this, let them do their show the way they want to do it, and you do your show the way you want to do it.
Okay, well, you know, I guess you can't reinvent the wheel. Just do the best you can do and keep moving.
Yeah, I mean, because their show, God meant for them. And God meant your show for you. So don't try to take their show and try to make it better because you know, I mean, it's just a different way of doing what they're doing.
Right.
But it's the same idea. And really, you want to try to be kind of like different from everybody.
Right,
You know, try to be different.
And that makes sense because I wouldn't want to, you know, see somebody else's show and try to fashion my show after their show. I want my show to cater me and not be so concerned about what the next person doing, you know.
And a lot of people, they see that it takes a lot of work from getting your guests. It takes especially the guests that you know, the higher your guest is as far as their clientele or how they are in the community,
right.
the harder it is to really get them to be a guest on your show. So you got to put a lot of legwork. You got to meet a lot of people. You got to, you know, you got to talk to assistants, and they got to make sure their schedule of that individual is going to coincide with you. And sometimes you got to coincide your show taping session with their
schedules.
Yeah, because if you want them bad enough, and if they only available on next week Monday between 10 and 11, then you going to have to schedule your taping session between 9:30 and 12:30.
Right, right. So you got to be some accommodating there. You just got to
Correct.
accommodate.
Yeah,
and that makes sense because if you want them as a guest, you're going to do what you need to do to accommodate them so they can accommodate you and everybody can be happy.
Yeah, because, you know, because all they going to say, I mean, they can say yeah or no. I mean, you know, and really they probably getting people asking them to be on their show from all over the city and stuff, you know.
Right,
so it's like for them to say yes to your show is really a blessing. So that's what I'm saying. You got to really, you know, work with your guests and make sure you're scheduling them with you, and you know, this and let them provide. I normally let them provide me with the questions because of the fact that there's certain things that they may not want to answer on TV.
That's right. That's right. That's right.
You
You
know?
don't cross the line and ask them something that's uncomfortable, and now they feeling some type of way.
Yeah, you know, and
want that.
oh God, and you don't want to burn them bridges because they all know each other.
That's right. That's right.
And
they'll say, okay, I was on the Paul Brown show when he asked me some question. Man, you better run. Don't. You better run,
You
Paul.
better
He ain't going to do you right, man.
Yeah, you know, and they
you
all
be.
gonna tell you, well, I can't come on your show.
And they
I
won't
can't.
come either.
They won't come. And the word will be out, and I don't know what they call a black ball or whatever, but they gonna tell you, say, hey, don't go on that show right there, because
He'll get you.
He'll throw a question on you that, you know, he knows that you don't
want to answer that question, and then there you be on the hot seat. So to speak.
you know,
we don't want that.
You don't want that because they ain't coming on your show, and nobody else will come on your show either.
You blame them?
I don't blame them. You know, I'm sorry. I ain't trying to burn that bridge. You
I
know,
know, right?
I ain't trying to ask you that question.
That's right.
Because I want you to tell your friends. I'm saying all of them are in that circle.
So let me ask you something. If you had to do all this over again, if you had to step back and say, okay, let me examine my life. Would I do this again, and would I do that? Would you actually do this again if you had to? If you had to do this over again at the Paul Brown show.
Yeah, Paul. How can you forget the Paul Brown show? Paul Brown. Oh, you got just joking with
Would you do it over? Would you do it differently? How would you set it up if you could do it over again?
I do it the same way. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of it was just an honor just having a lot of these guests on my show. And I just was at awe at some of my guests, and I was like, the information that they are putting out to the community, sometimes I may need that information.
Right, right. So who is your most unforgettable guest you had on the Paul Brown Show?
I had some. That's what I'm saying. I had some pretty.
Give me one. Give me one. I mean, we know all of them good. Give me one person.
I saying. I mean, yeah. I mean, Sheriff McFadden. I mean, he gave a because he was a detective at the time.
Okay.
He was a homicide detective or retired. You know what I'm saying? And he really got deep into that thing. You know, because he dealt with going out there with the lives of people, you know, after they got killed and all that. He had to go out there and investigate these things. So, and he deals a lot with the youth in the community.
So that was intriguing for you, so to speak.
Yeah, you know, so it was like exciting to hear some of the things that they did and
some of the things he had to say. He's an outspoken person. He's a spoken person. He's gonna say exactly what's on his mind. I do know that about him. That he's gonna say what he needs to say.
And he's done a great job as sheriff. You know, and I'm saying, but I've had the mayors on, you know, CEOs, and it's like, you know, the list goes on. I mean, I was just. You'd be surprised.
I would. I'm sure I would be. I'm sure.
And you're going to have the same thing when you start your show out. You know, I'm saying, put your work in. You know, the bigger your guests, they may not be able to come that week, but you just find out what their schedule is, you know, and try to work around their schedule.
Okay.
You know, I mean, if you want them bad enough, you have to do that.
I understand. I mean, I'm sure there's gonna be moments where I'm gonna ask a guest to come on a certain day, a certain time, and they may say no, and I may have to say, okay, well, give me what's your availability is like. And we can kind of work around your schedule for you to come on my show. So I'm kind of looking forward. I'm kind of knowing that may be the issue at sometimes, and I just have to work around it. Like you said, if I want them bad enough, I just work around their schedule so they can come on my show.
So where do you see Infamous Spotlight 5 years from now?
Well, in 2 years, I'm gonna have very famous guests. I'm looking at famous people.
Oh, famous? Oh, okay.
I'm looking for famous.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm giving myself 2 years. I'm giving myself 24 months. So after 2 years, I'm actually gonna have famous people on my show.
Ain't nothing wrong with that.
Well, that's a goal. That's a goal. So I'm setting my goal high because I think this is something that I think I can do well. I'll be okay doing. So I'm gonna set my goals kind of high. You know, if I reach it, fine. If I don't, that's not fine. I'm gonna do my best to reach my goals.
Okay.
So I'm gonna do everything I say I'm gonna do. So I got a bucket list, and I've knocked a lot of things off my bucket list up to this point. So I think I'm gonna be fine.
So who was that one person that
I'm gonna have?
Yeah.
Mary J. Blige.
Oh, you talking like
I said famous. She's famous, is she not?
I mean, there's a lot of people famous. I mean, but
I definitely want her.
What is it about Mary J. Blige that you?
I love her energy. I love her music is dynamic. I just love her as a person. She seemed to be. I don't know her on a personal level. I only know her through the media, like everyone else. But just looking at her and listening to some of her interviews that I've seen her be on before, she just seemed like to be a real down to earth, sweet person.
Now you might can get her and do it like on a virtual, because you want her. Now, you know, I mean, you would have to catch her coming into Charlotte in order to do that.
I do what I got to do.
Okay, I mean, I thought you would have probably said Fantasia if that was the case.
Okay.
Anthony Hamilton, they.
Okay.
I mean.
I want her.
You want Mary J. Blige. Ain't nothing wrong with that.
I want her, yeah.
You can get her, too.
I planned on it.
Okay, so I'm going to be looking for.
And she may be my first guest that I have.
Okay.
Not first guest as within my time limit once I get started, but she may be my first famous person that I have. It's a goal. I'm going to reach for it.
Ain't nothing wrong with that.
If you don't set your sights high, then where you going to go?
You better be careful. I might go out there and get Mary J. Blige.
Okay, I'm still gonna do it too.
I know, but you done made me. I ain't doing that.
That's my. She's off limits. That's my person.
Okay. I'll leave Mary J. Blige alone.
Please leave her alone.
But see, now I might want to get Mary J. Blige now. Cause I like her music too. I like her music.
Her life story is intriguing. The stuff that she had to climb out of, the stuff that she had to deal with, go through. It's amazing to hear some of the stories that I've heard her talk about, not stuff that I've heard other people. Some of the stuff that I've heard her talk about that she had to go through and go through it and still be okay. Her story is awesome.
But you can hear a lot of her story in her music.
You hear all of her stories through her music. That's her outlet. She used music to help her get to the next level. And even from her first album up until now, you can hear the music. It defines who she is. It helps her get through what she's going through.
Okay, locally, who's on your bucket list?
You know what? I hadn't thought about that.
You haven't?
I know that sounds bad, but I just really haven't. I haven't really thought about anybody here per se in Charlotte that's on. I mean, I've got a few people that the Charlotte Area Fund. They are great people. Mm-hmm. They got a program that helps people get on their feet, So I'm definitely gonna reach out to the Charlotte Area Fund. There's a young lady by the name of Parana Davis that does credit. She's a beast. She's awesome. I'm definitely gonna get her. She too here is in Charlotte. There are a few people. Let me take that back. There are a few people on my bucket list that's here in Charlotte. So those two I know will be two of the top people that I will start my interviews off with. My first two shows I will be with those people.
Okay, well, I'm gonna be looking forward to it.
Yeah, of course.
I mean, you gotta be. That's how you're supposed to do. Think high.
Yeah, I mean, there's no reason to start something. You start at the lowest point on the totem pole. You got to think high, because where you see yourself at is where you're gonna be. If you see yourself at the bottom, you're gonna be at the bottom. If you see yourself climbing to the top, that's where you're gonna be. Where your mindset at is where your results gonna be. So if you're not thinking positive and thinking about doing positive things and doing good things, then what you're thinking at?
Okay, question. Well, Sharon, will you be able to handle when those guests tell you they can't come?
Of course I'm be able to handle it. Why not? Just catch them another time. I won't give up. I just say, okay, well, since you can't do it now, I give you 6 months and I give you a call back. Maybe your schedule will permit you to come and, hang out with me. So you don't give up. Mm-hmm. You just try at a later time.
Because I've been at this station long enough to see people when their show don't go the way how they planned it to go,
right?
They give up.
Well,
and they disappear.
But this is the thing. Things never go the way we think they ought to go. Sometimes they go the way God wants them to go. But you got to be persistent enough to say, okay, it didn't work out this way. Maybe there's a plan B. Then if plan B don't work out, then you go to plan C. And if you're smart enough, you'll strategize a plan that will get you where you need to be. See, giving up is not an option. See, when people start giving up, that means their heart wasn't in it in the beginning.
Okay, you said persistent. Where does patience fall into that category?
With persistence? See, with persistence, which means you're doing everything you can to make it, right? Mm-hmm. At some point, patience got to be in there, because everything don't come overnight. Some things come easily, some things don't, right? Mm-hmm. So the things that don't come easily, you just have to sit back and wait till they fall in place.
Okay, all right.
That don't make sense to you?
That makes a lot of sense. I mean, and that's what you really have to do. I mean, you have to be persistent, but then again, you got to understand that it's not going to happen overnight.
For some people, it don't happen overnight. It depends on who you are, where you at, where your mindset is. See, if your mindset is, I'm never going to make it, this is hard, I can't do this, then you going to have what you say. If you say you can't, then you can't. If you say you can, you can.
Okay. I mean, you got it.
It's you got to be careful. People don't understand. You got to be careful with what you say. Life and death lies in the tongue, right?
Correct.
So if you saying you broke, busted, and disgusted all the time, guess what you're going to be? Broke, busted, and disgusted.
Yeah.
If you say that I'm tired, I don't feel good, I hate my job, then guess what? You have what you say. I love what I do. No, I'm not broke, busted, and disgusted. I'm not the richest woman in the world either, but I'm good. So I'm careful with what I say and what I do, because your actions either going to line up what you say you're going to do or they don't.
Okay. I mean, and you seem to have a lot of passion, you know.
I love helping people. Like, I teach basic life support, CPR.
Mm-hmm.
So I may have a student that don't understand compressions or don't understand what it is to give CPR. But when you're teaching somebody and that light bulb come on inside their head, they finally, you ever been in a class and you didn't get it, and then all of a sudden you get it, the light bulb come on.
Mm-hmm.
That's a great feeling, because now that you taught somebody something, they'll teach somebody else the same thing. It's like they finally got it and you helped them to get it. That's a good feeling.
Yeah, it is.
Right. So when I finally taught my daughter how to tie her shoes, she didn't get it at first, but when she got it, the light bulb came on. Now I'm proud, although it's just tying shoes. However, some people can't tie their shoes and wish they could. So with that, for me, it was a moment because she got it.
Correct.
So it don't matter how big it is or how small it is. It's just as long as they get it.
We're running short on time. What is one thing you would like to tell the viewing audience before we leave?
Set your goals high and go for it. Don't stop till you get there.
That's some good advice.
Yeah, don't stop. Because if you stop, you won't make it. Then you're going to be, I wish I could or would. Nobody want to hear that. You can do it if you try.
Correct. Well, I just want to say thank you for coming on the show.
My
and
pleasure.
Thank you for interviewing me. And I would like to give a shout out to Cormatech and A-Chef, especially A-Chef, the people that I've been I've worked with for years, and I just want to tell them that I'm so thinking of y'all. Love y'all. Thank you, Sharon, for coming on the show.
My pleasure.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for watching the show, and you be encouraged.